Welcome back to another episode of A Cozy Space with Tatiana Elizabeth. I'm here today with a girl that I just love so much. I know I say that every time, but I love Mame so much. I've known you for years. I don't even remember how, when, or where we met.
Years.
But I just remember you just being the sweetest soul and like just always just loving you from day one. So we have Mame here today.
Hi.
Mame actually is an ANTM alum as well. I'm an ANTM alum. What season were you on?
Crazy. 22. It was supposed to be the last season.
Oh, and then I came after
But
you.
y'all, they wanted to make more money, so they brought it back.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
For some reason I thought that you were maybe season like 20 or like 21. I didn't know you were directly before mine.
Oh, you're 23.
Yes.
I thought you were after too. Like I don't know. Was
They only went
there
to
24 or 20?
They went to 24.
Okay, I thought you were 24.
Yeah.
Okay, so we both were wrong about each other's seasons. But yeah, I was 22, and I think that was the one after Winnie too.
Yeah.
Because I remember hearing so much about her on our season. I'm like, who's this girl? And
Yeah.
like, it's just so funny how everyone's lives has just like blown up in different ways.
Yeah.
And like, I'm like really good friends with Eugenia, and she's like an OG from
literally
when we were in high school type stuff. So
yeah.
it's very, very cool.
It's crazy.
It's a
So
little sisterhood.
being on the show, I mean, I feel like I very, very rarely talk about even being on the show sometimes.
Yeah.
And I feel like now there are documentaries coming out, and I feel like now everyone is just so much more vocal on social media about the show and like kind of like rewatching and like kind of having their opinions and 2 cents about it. So I feel like it's making me want to talk about it. It's like, okay, like let's get into
talk
it.
about it.
Let's jog the memory banks of the ANTM alum. So getting into it, looking back, how do you feel that ANTM shaped your career and perspective on the industry?
I mean, honestly, I feel like it helped. Like, I feel like a lot of people, when they ask, they want you to be negative about it, because the majority of people that have been on this show and in reality TV in general have such a bad experience.
Yeah.
And so although it obviously had its challenges, like it was not a walk in the park, it was very interesting. It definitely taught me, oh, this is Hollywood.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's all lies. It's all smoke and mirrors. Like, it's all lies. So I learned a lot from that show. My personal experience, I would say, was more positive than negative.
Yeah.
Obviously, being on the show itself was like crazy, but I would
Because you
say
had Tyra too. I didn't have Tyra.
yeah, and I had Tyra, so I
mad
felt
about
like
it.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
To be honest, I enjoyed it. I feel like for what it's worth, it gave me exposure. It gave me a platform at that time. I had a platform already. I was Miss Maryland USA at the time.
Speak on it.
So I had a platform, and people knew me from the pageant world. So they were going crazy that I was on
Yeah.
a show.
Yeah.
So like I had fans from Indonesia, Philippines, like just going crazy. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, this was cool. So for me, I enjoyed it. I respect what it was able to give me. So I have nothing but, positive things to say, although, yes, it was
challenging.
It was challenging. I have
Yeah.
some more to say about that, but I'm going to let
Okay.
you ask some questions.
Guys, I'm sorry. I just had to take a break and switch my clip from the other side because y'all couldn't see it. But, but no, I definitely agree with you. I feel like we were on the later seasons of the show.
Yeah.
So I didn't go onto it expecting it to make my career. I kind of went on into it knowing that this is going to be something that's going to give me more of a platform and kind of hopefully catapult me, give me some followers, give me some clout, give me something like bounce off of. I didn't expect it to like make me into like this industry fashion model girl. So I feel like my expectations were a little different. I feel like we mirror that same sentiment.
And I think that's what a lot of people went wrong. Is like they think you're just going to get on this show and then it's going to be like red carpets rolled out for you. Honey, quite the opposite.
And I think
Quite the opposite. I was fighting for my life in these streets, okay?
I think also too, people don't realize Top Model is a reality competition
Period.
show.
It's TV.
It's TV.
We're going to make TV.
TV and modeling are not the same thing.
No.
Like, it's not, yeah.
Exactly. And good TV, and thank you for making that distinction. Good TV equals we have to create drama. We have to create fantasies. We have to create things that are just so contrived and not actually modeling.
Yeah.
And that's why, sadly, wasn't so respected in the industry.
Yeah.
For some of us that came off and were taking modeling seriously,
Right.
they were not trying to take me seriously.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm sure you had that same issue where it's like,
I feel like I had that same issue, but at the same time, I feel like it was kind of when the shift was happening. Okay, you guys might not take me seriously as like a straight up and down fashion model. However, this following that I'm gaining, these fans that I'm gaining, you guys want that. That's now becoming a new form of currency.
Exactly.
And regardless, realistically, look, I'm like, I was never going to be that stick thin fashion New York model anyway. So I feel like I was able to take the good out of the show and use it to my advantage. And I'm just like, I'm thankful for the show, for sure.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, it's like,
it is what it is. Like, I'm so grateful for what it did. Like you said, it definitely helped us to bolster our presence online and at the time. And it's so crazy because I feel so old. Like I'm the older model on set now.
Okay.
And I'm like, how did we get here? Since when?
Like, no.
Like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's
They're
crazy.
like, wait, I had no clue you were 30, whatever. And I'm like,
yeah.
I thought you were 27. She's 18.
Like,
thank God for melanin. Okay.
No, for me, it's like, well, why are you so young?
Right. Thank God for melanin, because I look young, but y'all be looking old.
Okay.
Sorry, no, let me stop. But it was so good to just help us to bolster our presence. And I say that to say, like, in 2017, for example, I feel like that's when social media was really starting to take off.
Yeah.
And people were starting to like understand. I remember my agency at the time, Lips, they were just now starting to like work with brands, and people didn't get that. And so I remember leaving like Next, which was like a big deal at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And funny enough, that the director of Next at the time had poached me from the show. He had come.
And that's rare, I feel like.
Yeah.
Kinda.
He had come on the show and was like, that girl, win or lose, I want her, to a producer.
Oh, wow.
So they let me know. And then after the show wrapped, I went to Maryland, did Miss USA, and I was like, well, I guess I'm moving to LA. And I showed up at
and you
Next.
moved straight to LA?
Moved straight to LA
Wow.
after the pageant. And I'm like, what's up? You said win or lose. And sure enough, they signed me.
Yeah.
So it was actually for me, it was good.
How was Tyra? Because your season had Tyra, and I'm jealous.
See, and that's why they should have just ended it. No shade.
Not too
Okay.
much.
Not too much. No shade, babes. But that's
They should have just wrapped it there.
They should have just wrapped it there.
No,
So
they tried to do a thing, and honestly, I'm like, why did y'all even do this?
Why? Honestly, because no, they really said it was the last season.
Yeah.
But you know, money's money, so they brought it back.
Yeah.
But no, Tyra was amazing. She was always kind to us. She was always present. And not to toot my horn, but I think I was a favorite.
Okay.
So she was very nice with me all the time, and like just kind of looked out for me in certain ways. And she's always been nice afterward. Like I reconnected with her a couple times, and she had me for, do a campaign for her, Tyra Beauty, after the show.
Yeah.
And even recently, or during the pandemic, I got her to be a keynote speaker for one of the initiatives that I was working on.
Oh, wow.
So it was really nice that she agreed. And like,
that's beautiful.
It's nice to know that she's cool.
Yeah.
She's cool.
Yeah.
We're not texting,
because
but
I feel like, that's good because I feel like Tyra gets a bad rep, and I feel like I can't speak to it, for it or against it, because she literally did 2 episodes of my season. And she was sweet and she was nice, but like she just kind of came and went. I think she just had her baby at that time or whatever. So my season was very, very interesting. It was the first and only season on VH1. I feel like it was very, very interesting and different from what I watched of the show and what I was personally a fan of. I feel like they ran out of budget halfway through the season. Not gonna lie, we didn't even go on a trip. We did not.
Wait, where'd y'all go? Did you not go anywhere?
We went to New York.
Oh, well, it's okay.
We were living in New York.
Now you're living in New York, you went to New York.
Nowhere.
You went from Bronx to Manhattan.
Our apartment was fab. We had a nice townhouse in the Upper East Side.
Our apartment was fab.
Girl, it was a nice little townhouse on the Upper West Side, right down the street from Central Park. Granted, we couldn't leave. We couldn't experience anything, but it was fab. But They told us, I thought we were going somewhere. And I'm like, you know what? I've made it. I'm making it to the end. Like, we're going to go to Paris.
Were y'all in the blackout vans as well?
In the blackout vans.
Yeah.
Ice.
That was psychological, like, warfare.
No.
Yeah. People don't understand. No, we were kidnapped individuals.
First of all, my dad called the police on those people because he did not, like, okay. You know how when they get you, okay, so just background on the show. Mm-hmm. When you get casted for it, they kind of give you a synopsis. You go through all these background checks. And in my brain, I say that you go through psychiatric evaluations. Yes. And I would always say they're trying to see if you're crazy enough to be on the show. They're not trying to see if you're sane.
Yes.
And okay. They're trying to make sure that you are crazy enough to be on the show. And you go through all those things and you kind of do that on the front end. And you're in this hotel and like you have your phone for that moment. And then you get to a point where like they start filming and they take your phone, they take all these things and they snatch you away.
Yeah.
My dad freaked out. Like my dad was calling everybody like, oh my God, I just let my child go into sex trafficking and all these things. Like,
honestly, yeah.
Like, where's the last place she was? And like all these things. And granted, my season was filmed in New York and I'm from New York. My dad probably had a search party out for me because he was so confused. So what was your experience like getting onto the show? Like, where did you guys film?
My experience?
The long laugh.
Because I'm just like, Lord, how did I? Oh, okay. So funny story. How I even got on the show was when I was, Miss Maryland, I didn't have a car, and the other state pageant queens we all have different prize packages. And Miss Virginia, USA, has a Mercedes leased out to her for the year. Ooh, okay. So I was like, where's my Mercedes? Where's my car? Like, I need a car. Mm-hmm. I was going to, and I had a program at the time called the No Excuses Youth Empowerment Program, where I was like going to different schools and talking to young girls about actively pursuing their dreams and things like that. So I had like a purpose for wanting a car. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm doing my queenly duties. Okay. And y'all didn't queen? Like, so I took it upon myself to get sponsored. So I was actually I was in Silver Spring, Maryland.
Shout out to Maryland.
Shout out to Maryland, DMV.
Okay. Woo-hoo.
And there's like what's it called? A place like a car park or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I just went and hit up Audi. I hit up, Mercedes. I hit up all the other ones. And then
all the luxury car dealerships.
Okay. And something told me go to the Ford. So I just went to the Ford and I was like, hi, I'm Miss Maryland, USA. I'm doing this and this and this. I would love to work with you guys. I don't got nothing to offer you, but I can, maybe.
I'm pretty and I have a mission.
Yeah. And maybe, I don't know. I can say your name on Miss USA. So, didn't have much to offer, but I was like, let me see what I can do. And, and side note, all of this experience, like I thought this was going to be such an easy thing. And like being a pageant queen, like the hustle that these girls have in order to even get on stage is crazy. Yeah. Like if you're someone that takes it seriously, you learn how to brand yourself, you learn how to market yourself, you learn how to be a speaker and a public speaker. Like imagine speaking out in front of 10,000 people in the audience. Like it was a boot camp to get to that level. So I learned a lot. And that's why I just like to give my girls the flowers, because people think they're just there, and we have our mishaps. Like there's this really funny one on Instagram. This girl was answering. She's like, education in South Africa. And but it happens. You get flustered. But anyway, so I got to the Ford, and the marketing lady happened to be randomly Malcolm X's like granddaughter. Okay. Didn't believe her. And then she's like, yeah, I was the producer of Project Runway, and my cousin's the casting right now for ANTM. Do you model? And I'm like, yeah, I model. And again, I'm not believing her because I'm like, why are you working at the Ford in Silver Spring, Maryland?
Yeah. Random.
Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. So she's like, let's take a picture of you in front of the car. Let's just take a picture. Let me send it in. And I was like, yeah, okay. So we took a picture. She sent it in. 2 weeks later, Tyrus people called me and were like, Mame, we want you on the show. Yes. We're starting taping like 2 weeks. We need you in LA right now. So I was like, what? And packed up my stuff, and everything changed that year. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So what was the transition like you get to LA, you go through all the psychiatric evaluations to make sure you're crazy enough. They put you in that hotel room. Did they take your phone immediately, or?
I think so, yeah.
Like kind of immediately. For me, I'll just tell the story. They put us all in like one big like studio area room, and they took our phones, and I feel like they shut the door, and from the instant the door shut, people turned it on in a way I never saw before in my life. My mom was a single mother, and I wasn't able to make it and do what I need to do. Because like just sob story after sob story after sob story. And like me personally, I'm just kind of a little cool, calm, and collected. I'm a little too cool for school sometimes. And I was like, oh, send me home.
Send me home
now.
These people
I'm
are
not going to be here with these people. They were like arguing, like starting political debates. I'm like, we were all chilling in silence together for the past hour. As soon as that door shut and the cameras came in, people started performing. And from that instant, I was like, oh.
You just unlocked a new memory because it was just like that.
Oh my God.
They were going crazy. And then the producers would come in and then be like, okay, we're going to move on with these 50 so the rest of these 50 can go home. Like it was wild.
Crazy. I remember one of the producers, I don't want to misquote, she pulled me to the side and she was like, the people that get the most camera time are the people that make it onto the show. I was like, okay. She's like, you're not speaking. You're not giving me camera time. And I'm like, well, I'm cute. And I should be on the show because I'm cute and I'm talented.
Period.
And I belong here because I will work hard and I'm going to make it to the top. And she's like, girl, no, you need to talk.
You need to do something.
But I feel like, honestly, like I was still, like I said, we were in New York. These girls were from Tennessee, Oklahoma. I'm already in the industry. I already kind of like already had like a little bit of like, you know, something going for myself. So I'm like, I'm not about to come on here and make a fool out of myself.
That part.
But I feel like they just probably liked me anyway and just like pushed me through. But I had nothing to say. I'm like, look, I came here.
Because what do y'all want us to do?
Yeah, I'm like, I came here fly. I'm like, I planned out every outfit to make it to the end of this
that's
thing.
right.
So I have things to show y'all, but I'm not about to act a fool.
Period.
But I remember one thing. Did they do ice for you guys?
Yes. Everyone's on ice. Can't talk until the cameras come back, and then you can like unfreeze. And like be normal.
Like we're children.
Very much like we're children.
We would have times where we were riding in the car. Or like even on set, and you have to wait for like the head person or like the judge to come in and you be on ice.
Yep. Like you can't say a word until the camera comes. So you become very trained to perform once the camera does come in.
Yeah.
So, and like I even noticed it, I just did it right now. And I think it's followed me because like when we do anything on TV, it's real. It's like
when the camera cuts. Yeah.
I'm not even gonna talk to you until the camera's rolling.
And it's like, we are real homegirls in real life. Hey,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it is what it is, child.
It's so funny.
But I have so many stories from that.
Yeah, what is your fondest memory from the
Ridiculous.
show? Like your fondest memory or like your funniest memory?
Okay, well, a nice memory, because I was about to go in.
You can go ahead too.
A nice memory, honestly, was my mother being flown from Ghana for the episode with our parents.
Oh,
that was so special. And I was adopted essentially by my best friend when we were 16.
I remember this actually.
Yeah, because you know, my dad was a diplomat, and so they were always, you know, traveling, and they didn't want me to new country, that's how I grew up. So because I was separated away from my parents, like since I was 9, my best friend's mom basically adopted me because I loved them so much and I didn't love who I was with.
Yeah.
So anyway, I thought they were gonna bring her because she's in Maryland.
Yeah.
But the fact that they took the extra step to get my mother from Ghana, and I hadn't seen her at that time in like 3-4 years.
Wow.
My heart just sank and I just was bawling, and that was just such a special moment that Tyra did that, or the producers, whoever did that. And my mother came on and did her makeup, her hair. She's not used to that at all.
Yeah.
And it was such a beautiful experience to see my mother in that setting. And I mean, we did the shoot and Tyra's mom shot it. So it was like it was kind of like almost for Mother's Day, like her mother shot it. So it was even more special. And Tyra was coaching my mom. Yeah. She's like, be like Diana Ross, do this. So that's one memory.
I remember that moment. That was so fun. Oh my God, core memory unlocked.
Core memory. Seriously, like that was such a special moment that I really, really appreciated them for doing, because I hadn't seen her in so long.
Yeah. And then you gotta let me. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Not, I wasn't being shady. I was just saying, like, because the show will,
Shady.
no, not even like you per se.
She's
I'm
shady.
saying the show in general, they will like.
You never know.
There were people like they'll cut off
Yeah.
person's hair off. It's like,
and then you're gone.
then you're
No,
gone.
Yeah.
It's like you just cut that girl's hair
Yeah, they
off.
did that to Hadassah low key.
Oh yeah.
That was the other black girl that was on my season.
Yeah.
I hate to say the other black girl, but that's how they pinned us against each other.
Your makeover.
My makeover was the long curly hair.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, I wanted what Hadassah had. They shaved part of her hair. Like, and I thought that was badass.
Yeah.
So I even was like, that's it? Y'all just
Yeah.
gonna give me a weave?
Yeah.
And they're like, girl, like, are you, I'm crazy, I guess.
Yeah,
Because
you wanted a
I actually
challenge.
wanted,
Yeah.
like,
you wanted
do
the full
something.
experience.
Yeah, the full experience. I was not afraid of it. And, but thank God they just gave me a nice looking weave.
You know what's crazy? I'm like so like messed up mentally. I went on there, like I was wearing weaves at that time. I went on there purposely with my fro out. I'm like, so they can give me a weave.
Smart.
Because I felt like if I went on there with a weave,
they would have taken it out.
absolutely
Exactly,
not.
exactly.
No, thank you. I would like a weave. Thank you. And they gave me a good weave. It was Indian curly hair. They hooked me up. I felt
So we kind of had the same.
yeah,
right?
I feel like we had
like
this,
long,
like
curly
long,
kind of hair.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I felt it was just so not really funny, but like I felt so bad.
Now
for
you
some-
got to insert our photos.
No, literally, yeah. Boop, boop. But I went on there knowing what I wanted, and it was just so funny because I feel like for other girls, I was like, dang, girl. Like, they gave this one girl on my season, Corianne, shout out to Corianne. She had beautiful curly hair, and they gave her a weave too, but like, they put it in too tight. Like, your scalp is swollen. Like, they did you dirty. Like, I felt so bad for some of the other girls. I remember there were twins on my season, and like they cut one's hair and like did the other one's hair long, and like they were pissed because they like kind of swapped their roles as like it was just so interesting, like how they just do us on that show, girl.
Anything.
Oh my goodness.
Anything goes.
Is there any lesson that you learned on ANTM that kind of sticks with you today?
I don't think there's like one lesson that I learned besides the fact that like it opened my eyes to what Hollywood is. I was so green. I had never been on a real like TV set.
Yeah.
And so that kind of was like a boot camp in what set looked like, how they operate, how producers, the call of order, the chain, like the AD, the director, the this, the this, the that. Like that for sure is something that has helped me so much in my career afterward, because after the show, like I moved straight to LA, and I was lucky enough to be blessed enough to be on campaign shoots and commercial shoots, and I knew how to act. I knew who to go to, like, and I felt so prepared for the industry because of the craziness that we went through on the show.
For sure, I agree. Versus like just typical modeling, you go to a casting. Like I feel like everyone that's a model, unless you really get taken in by an agency that wants to really truly develop you, which I feel is super rare.
Yeah,
I definitely agree with. On my season, I was cool with everybody, the producers, this person, and that person. Like I feel like that's part of the reason why I made it so far is because I was just like likable and I was just chilling and kicking it. And I feel like I had skin butter during the time of my show. I was away from my business, but no, I need to check in. Like they would sneak me their phones and like let me check my little Shopify and like email my team and make sure stuff was still going out and stuff. So it kind of taught me how to like be like grounded and like well-rounded and like, you know, within that industry. Yeah.
And that was so smart. I'm so glad you started your brand before, like you already had your brand, because like low-key plug. Like I when I heard of you and then I saw your brand, I was like, dang. Go girl.
Yeah, I'm like, if I was sitting here, skin butter was right here, but they cropped it out. They cropped it out
Of course
anyway.
they did.
But like, I was like, they were like, so I'm like, because with skin butter, like I was trying to say it as much as possible, but I feel like they cropped it out so much. And like on the last round, me versus like the final girl, I don't think that as much as I said skin butter, it obviously wasn't aired. But he was like, we're going to give it to this girl who just sells lotion. Like she just sells. No, he did not. I'm like, he could have said skin butter. Like I wish he would have said it. But I definitely was so like intentional and strategic. I would literally sleep with it by my bedside.
Smart.
Like trying to
take notes.
Trying to get the plug, girl. But moving on from ANTM, because there has been so many things that has transpired in your career since then. And like, you know, you've been modeling, you've done pageants, you act, you have your own brand, like you're beautiful. Like how do you balance all of the things?
I literally just had a therapy session
Yeah.
about the lack of balance. So
I feel like that's a trick question.
I don't know. It's a very much a trick question.
I've been asking everyone that question and I don't even have the answer. But I feel like there's beauty in that. No one has the answer. There's no such thing as balance.
Honestly.
That's the general consensus here.
Yeah, honestly, because like, and the older I get, the more I'm like, I respect mothers. Like, girl, mothers need to be held up on a pedestal. Like, your feet do not need to touch the ground.
Period.
The older I get, the more I'm like, I'm humbled because I'm like, yo, how did y'all handle us bad ass kids? Yeah. Have a job.
Have a job.
Have a business for the entrepreneurial moms. Come home, cook, take after your family.
Clean. Because I'm like, my mom did not have cleaners.
Yeah.
I have cleaning people.
And then take care of your husband in whatever ways. I'm like, how did you do it? I can barely look after myself. I'm
like
over here.
The new adults.
Listen,
like,
I'm crying over here like, I have so much on my plate. And I don't even have a child yet. So, I mean, when it comes to balance, I'm learning every day how to do better. I'm someone, I think, because I've been on my own for so long, I was an overachiever. I did a lot of things early.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I feel like my peers are now like taking off in their careers. Some of them are even personally now leaving their homes from mom and dad. And I'm like, when
I've been here for 15 years
I'm
already.
tired.
No, literally. I'm like, Mom, Dad, can I come
listen,
back?
I'm going to be very transparent. I have to, like, I'm tired.
Yeah, same.
I'm tired. I've been doing this. I've been on my own since I was 9.
Oof, 9.
9, like away from my parents since I was like raising myself. Literally, they call in and like I was raised over a phone.
Yeah.
So I've literally had to be my own caretaker, motivator, navigator in this world. So when I tell you like, I'm tired of figuring things out.
Yeah, I feel that. How do you think that shaped you though? Because being on your own since 9 or like, you know, being away from your parents since 9, how do you think that has shaped you? Like, do you think that that's made you an overachiever?
Yeah, a little too much.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just definitely, I appreciate it now because I see how it's made, I mean, I'm so self-sufficient, so independent, so self-reliant, and I'm actually trying to not be so self-reliant because like you do have a community, you have people that care about you, you have people that want to be there for you, but I learned that I wasn't giving them the chance
to do that
because I'm so used to having to be there. And there's something that I love to say is, especially in a relationship and even friendships, you know the movie Waiting to Exhale? The older I get, the more I understand what that means.
Okay.
You need that safe space to be able to go and say, relax my shoulders.
Literally. But you know what?
I can breathe out.
I think, and obviously we're both obviously so grateful for our journeys and everything, but I think that I'm so thankful for having been an overachiever and be able to scale back as opposed to at this big age trying to learn how to be self-sufficient and how to like do the certain things that we've done. I feel like it's just intentionality, like making that switch and being like, okay, I am gonna take an hour to myself every day. It might start with an hour and then it might start going to 2 hours. Like, I feel like that's kind of why I'm even creating this space. A lot of people that I speak to or like tell about like my rituals or my self-care, my things like that. It's like, girl, I'm not over here burning sage and doing all these crazy 3-hour-long things every single day. I'm just being intentional with what I am doing and I'm calling it self-care. And with that in itself, it's providing that intentionality behind it. And that within itself is calming.
Exactly. It's giving you that safe space that you need.
Yes, girl. What is one moment in your career that made you really step back and say, wow, I did that? Like, I did that.
I feel like there are a couple, but maybe just because I can't think of the other ones, because I feel like there
are a lot.
And thank God that I'm even having that problem, right?
No, literally, but I love my friends because honestly, everyone is just like, there are multiple.
You know? But I think for me anyway, at the time, I had done 2 Lexus commercials back to back, and like being the main character, I was just like, looking back, it's almost like I thought this was normal to just start in the industry and be cast for this. Like I thought it was normal, and now things are slower. The industry has slowed down. And I'm like, dang, like,
Yeah.
God, thank you so much for looking out for me the way that you did.
Yeah.
I did not know that it wasn't like this for everybody. Because other people that you talk to in the industry, they're like, I'm never getting work, did it? And I was like,
and I don't know about you, but
I was working.
Yeah.
So I think those two commercials were when I was like, okay, mama, I made it. Like, we're really getting there.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And that was after ANTM, huh?
That was after ANTM,
Yeah.
so it's still very new. So I think that, but obviously more has happened, thank God.
Right. Transitioning from ANTM to modeling to acting, have you always wanted to act?
Like my desire to act definitely naturally came because I was on so many commercial sets, and the directors would be like, oh my God, you're amazing. You need to do this seriously. So I was like, I guess I should. So I started taking it up, and now I've been in the space for the past 7-8 years, acting wise, and doing these amazing like auditions. But it's like, it's so political. It's so hard. I don't want to agree with that. It's not hard. There are challenges.
Yeah.
But it is not that easy to get yes. So I'm still waiting for that big yes. But there have been projects along the way that have definitely like got me, you know. Like I literally told my therapist this the other day, like there was an opportunity with a big director that was gonna like change my life. Like this was gonna be a breakthrough role. And then the casting director did some ish to basically take me out of the running just because she wanted to.
Yeah.
And I was like,
it's so political, huh?
It's crazy. And it was really simple. It was literally, she was making, you know, after my audition, like the director gave notes. And usually they don't give you notes unless you're someone that they're looking at.
Yeah.
You don't get shown to the director.
Yeah.
So for him to have given me notes was a big deal. So I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, so when is your wedding? Because at the time I was engaged. When is your, and I was like, oh, I think maybe November. I'm not sure though, but da-da-da-da. She's like, oh, congrats. I was like, yeah. She calls my manager and tells her, why would you send us a client that's not ready for the, I was like, oh my God, I thought we were having like regular conversation. She was like, so lesson learned after that, keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
You're available. You don't have no plans. I'm here for you. I live
Never.
for you.
My wedding is never.
What wedding?
No. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's definitely annoying. And I feel like it's just so interesting, especially like, let's touch on that. The fashion world can seem so isolating. How important is it for you to have a strong support system within this industry?
I mean, it's so important. Like this industry, I've been strong for so long and I never let things affect me for so long. Like you tell me no, you tell me this, you're to this. I've had agents tell me to get lipo. I'm like,
what?
And I was like 10, 15 pounds skinnier than this.
Yeah.
Lipo where?
Where?
You want me to disappear?
Like, that's a lot of incisions.
Like,
where are they?
What?
Like, yeah.
And I actually went to, what's that thing called? The cold,
cool sculpting.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they laughed at me.
Yeah.
The nurses laughed at me.
I've
They're
done
like,
that before too.
You're not a candidate for this.
Like,
but I was
they're
like,
like, you need to be able to grab it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can. I
was like, do something.
Harder.
They're telling me. They laughed at me because I was
Yeah.
like, so that's when I'm like, why would I ever listen to these people?
Yeah.
But I was trying to, you know, you're the professional. I'm trying to listen, but child, that's when I realized like I really have to ground myself in who I know I am.
Yeah.
And that is a child of God.
Amen.
And nothing else.
Okay.
But yes, to your point, this industry has tried to break me at many times. And I think in the last couple of years, to be honest, I think I've allowed it to happen a little bit.
You think so?
Yeah.
So actually speaking on that, and I know like you've been on your faith journey, like what has inspired you to deepen your faith? And how has that transformation impacted your career and your like daily life?
It has impacted everything, like my daily life, everything, because I was just a mess.
Yeah, you never seemed a mess to me.
To me, I was a mess.
Yeah,
but yeah. And I feel like I mean I've always been someone that like, you know, hold yourself up to a high standard. Don't do nothing crazy.
You were never a mess, first of all, from my perception.
Thank you.
But I feel.
So I just felt like I was just at a point in my life where I was wanting more. Because one thing I realized from this journey and just like working in this industry is there is always more to be had.
Yeah.
You get one thing and you're like, okay, now what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because you thought it was going to bring you fulfillment. You thought it was going to bring you peace. You thought it was going to change your life. And it's like, oh, it actually didn't. And so I learned like, oh, these things do not make me feel fulfilled.
Yeah.
These opportunities, although they're amazing and they help me boost my career, no matter how far I get, there's a sense of fulfillment that will be missing if I don't submit to the creator of the universe.
Okay.
And so I had a moment, especially during the pandemic, where personally I was going through so much. Like I was engaged and I was not engaged. I had a friend who passed away. So many things were happening. So many things were happening at once.
Yeah.
So that was my first like real foray into like grief.
Yeah. Oof.
I haven't felt grief like that in ever.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful for it now. But at the time, babes, what? I was going through it. Oh my God. And then there was a time, I think I even came to one of your events before, like at Revolve, where one of our building at the time had like a fire, so they had to like move us out of our building.
I remember.
You remember, right?
Yeah.
So I was literally living out of the suitcase for like months because they were like trying to fix the building up, and they're like, "You can go next week," and then next week, and I'm like, "Bro."
Yeah. No, I remember that time, and I remember like just being like, "You're still so beautiful," and you're like, "Girl,
girl, you don't know what I'm going through right
you're
now."
so pretty. I just love your skin."
But you know, we showed up.
Like you still showed up. Like you still,
I'm gonna
you
show
still
up.
showed up, and you looked good. Like I said, you
Period.
never looked like what you were going through, and I feel like that's why.
Girl,
Yeah.
thank you, Jesus, that we don't look like what we've been through.
Okay.
Thank you.
There have been multiple times where I feel like you've shown up to something that I'm doing or something that I'm having. And like, I remember there was a time at my house where you came over and I was having like a game night or like a friend, like just friends over.
Yeah.
And I remember you stayed until the end, like, and then you were telling me what you were going through. And I'm like, dang, girl, like you came and you look good and you're having fun with everybody. But I was happy that we were able to have those moments after everyone left and like after the dust.
Real moment.
Yeah, a real moment after the dust settled, because we all are going through stuff.
We're all going through things. And I think that's why I'm so open and okay being vulnerable, because to me, that's strength.
For sure.
I actually can't stand it. And I actually don't think I can be friends truly with someone who's afraid to open up and be real with me.
Same. I'm an
because
open book.
You know what I mean? Like, vulnerability is strength.
Yeah, and it's confidence. And I always say this because I'm an open book and I will tell everybody my business. Like if you get in too close proximity with me, I will tell you my business unprovoked. So I need to be around people that I feel like are safe spaces.
Exactly.
And that also aren't judging me and using what I'm saying against me.
Exactly.
Because I'm being very, very humble by letting you know what's going on in my life. Because at the end of the day, I'm still sitting here with you no matter what I have going on. So there needs to be a mutual respect that's had. And I feel like that's what I appreciate about like you and the rest of some of our friends in our community, because it's like we have that safe space within one another and have been able to lean on one another in times where it's like, girl, we look good, but dang, we gonna sit here.
We're going through some things and it's okay.
We gonna sit here and talk about it at the end.
And we can talk about it and not be afraid to not be perfect. And I think that's something that I'm so happy that I'm detaching from is that need to look and be perfect and on it all the time.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay. You're a real human being going through real things. Take a beat.
It's okay.
Confide in someone.
Okay.
Get a therapist. Do what you need to do, but do the work. Take responsibility for yourself, for what's going on, and navigate
Change
through
it. Do the work. How long have you been in therapy?
I feel like I probably got into therapy 3 years ago. Yeah.
Wow. And you do it consistently?
Not always.
Okay, I'm about to say, girl, that's a ticket.
No, not always, not always. But I've known the lady for
sure.
4 years,
Yeah.
especially during the pandemic. I was like,
like,
okay,
oh, I need you. Come here.
let me try this therapy thing that everybody's talking about.
Yeah.
And you know, being African, my mom and dad, they're like,
what is wrong with you?
Yeah, what are you in therapy for? What do you need to? I'm like,
you.
you,
and you.
You're the reason why I need to be in therapy.
No, I feel that.
Like, it's
sometimes you need to talk to that lady.
Somebody else, you know what I mean?
I feel like I started therapy as like couples therapy, and then I like went,
Same.
I started therapy with couples therapy. Same. And then like through breakups and everything, I'm like, okay, girl, I need you. Like, screw him, but can you be my therapist?
Exactly.
Can you be my girl? You already know all my tea. Like, come on. But I think that therapy is so important. It's so important to speak to someone other than your peers sometimes, because, you know, we are the blind leading the blind sometimes, and we need somebody that might be older, wiser, a little bit less subjective, like, you know, with a different opinion, because I might tell you to go back to that man, or I might tell you to leave that man. Like, who knows? I feel like therapy is just so important.
It's important.
Yeah.
To seek outside advice and counsel.
For sure. If you could give advice to someone that is in the modeling industry that's kind of like dabbling with the idea of strengthening their faith, what would it be to them?
I would say, to be honest, you have to listen to yourself. Because that's what I had to end up doing. Yeah. I knew that the way that things were going in the industry, in my life, in my career, were not, like, sometimes I'll go to like events and I'm just like, I don't like the energy here. Yeah. The vibe is off. Yeah. And like, listen, not to be preachy, but we are spirits. You are a spirit in a physical body. Yeah. There's a spiritual realm that exists, whether you acknowledge it or not. And those vibes that you're feeling, the energy, that's spirit. Yeah. Whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it. Yeah. So I would go into certain spaces and like, it just didn't feel good. Yeah. And I mean, the Bible says we battle not against flesh, but against principalities and literally spirits. Don't quote me verbatim. But yes, we battle against spirits and principalities. If you're laying there dormant, the devil and the spirits can use you. Yeah. So I chose in that time, during those times where I was going into these weird spaces and feeling like conflicted because I want to get to know these people and I have to connect. I have to, you know, network and I do want to go to that party and it's like, you don't need to be in certain spaces. Yeah. And you felt it in your spirit that you don't need to be there. Yeah. But I'm pushing myself because I feel like I need it for my career. Yeah. And finally, I realized I don't need anybody.
Anything. You need to be grounded.
But God.
Exactly.
I don't need nobody but God. Amen. They didn't give me my career, so they cannot snatch it away. Okay. And even if you did,
God got me.
Period. Okay. Because what door can a man close that God has opened? And what door can God close that a man opened? Okay. So period. So that's when I got my confidence in the Lord and I really wanted to just deepen my faith and have that true like groundedness in faith, in something bigger than myself. Because I think before I was putting everything on me. I need to be perfect. I need to do this. I need to work hard.
And I feel like I kind of slightly, like I remember when you started strengthening your faith, I feel like it's one of those times that I was talking about where, you know, like you were like, you know, I'm not drinking. I'm trying to like really be intentional about this and about that. And like, I feel like it's so important. And it was so good to hear other people speaking about faith and speaking about things out loud. And I feel like the older that we get, I feel like it is more common now. And it's just such a beautiful thing because it's not one way to be. You don't have to be one dimensional. We can talk about God right now, and then after this, like, speak about men or speak about whatever we want to, whatever's on our hearts. And it's like, it doesn't take away from the fact that you are walking with Christ, you're walking with God, you have your purpose, you know your things. And I feel like that is something that when you're younger, you don't realize that you can be a multidimensional person. It's just about, you know, doing the best you can and and growing and learning and changing. So I feel like I do appreciate you, because I feel like you were one of probably like the first people within like my adult like time frame of life being like, wow, like she's really standing on that. That's really admirable. Like, I'm a little tipsy right now as she said that, but maybe tomorrow I can do a little bit better. You know, like dang, Mame really did not drink this entire night.
The whole time.
I am drunk and I hear her, and I'm going to try tomorrow. I'm going to like, you know, and like, I feel like that's important because like, it's not preachy, it's not anything, whatever, but you know, you're sharing that. And I feel like that's just very, very aspirational, inspirational. And I'm hoping that whoever's watching this can understand that you can always be a multidimensional woman. Because even for me, like I have my playlist where it's like, I might have some gospel on there, then it might go to Beyonce, then it might go there. But it's like, I feel like God sees me for who I am. And as long as my intention and my heart is pure, that's what matters. I can always grow and be better every single day. However, I'm not going to say, oh my goodness, I'm not gonna do that, because that's performative, and I'm not trying to perform for anybody. I want to walk and be the best version of myself. So kudos to you for like literally. I remember the moment. So speaking of just growing, learning, has there been any times where you've had to set boundaries in the fashion industry to protect your peace?
Okay, yeah, definitely. Always having to set boundaries. Child. But there, like, for example, one thing that I was trying to do was talking to my agency to make sure that if I have to touch my face, and this didn't get worked on because they didn't want to ruffle feathers, but I just was like, if I go on set and I have to do my hair one more time, I need to get paid a hairstylist rate.
That part.
If I have to touch my face again. So I wanted them to put that in my contracts moving forward.
And how do they handle that?
Oh, we don't want to ruffle any feathers and da-da-da-da-da.
It's the client.
Yeah, and like they make me feel bad for advocating for myself and wanting better for myself. And I'm just like, and again, it took me to a place where I'm like, am I asking for too much?
No, literally.
Like, am I, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm like,
this is
I can't
wild.
go to this casting because I have a really busy. Well, why can't you go to the casting? The client wants you there, and I'm like, if the client wants me there, they can book me.
Period.
And I will be there.
Period.
But I feel you. It's like agencies and modeling is just almost like tiptoeing a little bit.
Yeah, and they want to make you feel small. They always want to make you feel like you better be thankful, especially Black women. You should just be thankful to be in the room.
Yeah, and it's like,
excuse me? Yes, I'm grateful.
I'm grateful, but
don't talk.
I'm not kissing nobody's feet.
And honey, I'm not 18 no more.
Okay, I have a choice. I won't go because I don't feel like it.
Listen, like come correct.
Come correct.
So I can also come correct. And I'm always respectful. Like, I think there's a way, and that's one thing I would always tell young models is like, there's a way to respectfully advocate for yourself. Yeah. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to be, you know, like,
not too much. Yeah.
Not too much.
Yeah,
don't do too much. Because you want to be invited back. And like, I genuinely think they're not trying to be, you know, not
I think that honestly modeling versus especially like with you, like you've kind of like merged from modeling, content creation, acting, like being in LA. I feel like just old school like modeling, like New York, like they're still kind of stuck back in their ways and back in the days. And I feel like also too, we're multi-hyphenate where you do multiple things. Like, I'm not just a model versus that 18-year-old girl who moved here from Russia or whatever. She needs that $1,200 where I might be like, girl, I'm okay. I'd rather sit at home. I'd rather not be here at all. And she can have it. And they don't understand that. And it's like, it's not a knock. And like, I will gracefully say it. However, it's just like, no, I've grown. I know my worth. I know my value. And I'm going to like.
Respectfully, thank you so much for the opportunity, but it's not for me. Especially, you know, and honestly, even the girls, to the younger girls who are 18, who are, you know, like, you need that next dollar. Nothing is ever worth your dignity, your respect, and your soul, to be honest, because people out here are doing very strange things for a little piece of change. And it's honestly, never that serious.
Can we talk about that? And can you guys stop doing so much for so little? Because you're making it harder for people.
You're making it harder.
Make it harder for people like me that come in and I want the house and the horse and this and they're like, well, this girl over here will do it for a cat.
She took it for 2 gummies. 2 gummy bears.
2 gummy bears. I'm like, 2 gummy bears.
And a roll of yarn.
And a roll of yarn.
I'm not even asking for that much. I'm really not. But
No,
I've been in the industry, 12 years now?
Yeah, it's like I feel like there has to be a
us.
conversation that needs to be had regarding knowing your worth. And I feel like we could probably get into that another time, or we might need a whole nother hour for that. But ladies, know your worth. Please know your worth. Google it, look around, ask around, know your worth. Don't Google your worth. Stop low, bro. Stop. Especially my young Black woman. Don't just do something for nothing. Like we have value, we have purpose, we have
especially if you know it's conflicting in your spirit. For me, that's when I'm like, babe, walk away.
Yeah.
I walked onto a set one time and it was for a big celebrity guy. I'm not gonna say his name. And I walked into that room. I saw all these girls, the way they were dressed. I said, no, I will not. And I walked out. And the producer was like, where are you going? You signed. I said, I'm so sorry. I just had to be like, I'm sick. But they were like, we have this, we have that. They were trying so hard to keep me because they're doing their job. And I felt so bad, but internally, I could not be there. And I did not want to be a part of it. Once I said, it's okay. So I need y'all, please, ladies, to have the self-love enough and the self-respect to walk away from things. You will make that money. I promise you. It will come back.
Yeah. I think it's so, so, so important because it never feels good when you sit through something that you felt ruffled through. Because I feel like there have been times earlier in my career, nothing ever like super morally like opposing or anything like that. But there were times where I'm like, I feel like I'm undervaluing myself or I'm doing this. And I'm like, that whole day I would be irritated. Like the whole, like it doesn't feel good in my soul. It doesn't feel good in my heart. And I'm happy and I'm thankful that I'm to the point now where I can tell myself, I'm not doing that. It's not even about like money. Sometimes it's about, like you said, the vibes and the spirits and the this. And like, I know now that I can walk away from certain things. So I feel like what I would tell my younger self is, girl, you can walk away. It's okay. It's nothing. It's not going anywhere. We are still here 10 years, 15 years in the industry, still here, still.
I was still booked after that job. Like, it's okay. Life goes on.
Literally,
I promise you.
Literally.
You know?
Oof, girl. Speaking of that, what are some self-care rituals that kind of help you stay as balanced as possible?
I would say my self-care ritual, if I call it that, is like, in the morning, my mornings are my self-care times. And of course in the evening, but mostly my morning. Like I love to wake up and obviously brush your teeth, do your skincare routine.
Yes, you need that skincare routine.
You know, take a little shower or before that. And then like just go in the living room and turn on some gospel or some worship music and like pick up my Bible app and read, get into the word, read some verses and pray on them, like meditate on them and just like, and then sometimes I'll journal and like really just ground myself in the Lord before I step out into the world.
That's beautiful.
That's like my favorite, with like a little cup of tea and just my little honey, my little doggy. So
Honey's so cute. First of all, Mame is a world traveler. You travel around the world, and this girl leaves her dog with our other friend Shannon. And I'm like, I remember seeing Honey so often for a specific period of time, and I'm like, whose dog is this, Shannon? She's like, it's Mame's dog. I'm like,
whose dog is this? My child.
Whose child is
Tati.
this, Shannon? And I'm like, it's Mame's dog. Girl, well, you left your child. I had to. Honey would come over my house, be running around, being bad, barking at my son.
I know. Milo was so scared of her because I was like, I'm so sorry, Milo.
But I miss her. I hope she's well. How is Honey?
I miss Milo.
I know, right? We need to get them back together.
We do.
Maybe they both matured and grown.
Please. I hope.
Because
they can do better.
Oh my goodness. So speaking of traveling, do you think that traveling kind of takes some of the pressures off of being in such like a high pressure industry? Because I feel like you travel so much, and do you feel like it grounds you? Like
for sure. Like I feel like you need those times away. I need those times away to like recenter, be with my family again. I've been in LA for 10 years now, and I'm here by myself. All my family is in the East Coast or Ghana or in Europe. So I love to just take some time, go away and be with them for a month. So, but it's cool because I can also obviously work when I'm in Europe. So I get to relax a little bit and work at the same time. But it's so needed sometimes to get away from the high pressure, like you're saying, and just take a beat, take a second, get away for a little bit, unplug and just...
And leave your
come
dog.
back.
And leave your dog with Shannon.
And leave my dog with Shannon. And then come back.
Something that keeps me grounded is just like, trying to have a routine and using my skin butter, being in my robe, getting cozy. That's kind of why I created this space. So I wanted to give you a little gift. I have a robe for you and some
so
skin
much.
butter. I mean, your skin already glows so much, but yeah, I just hopefully you can add that to your routine and it can help you stay balanced and grounded. Take it with you all around the world.
I definitely will.
Yes, but I'm so happy. My ANTM sister. I'm so happy that I got to sit down and have this conversation with you. I love you dearly, and I'm just so proud of you and your journey, and I'm just so excited to continue watching you thrive in this industry, watching your faith journey, watching all the things, and just keep going, keep sharing. And I love you, girl.
Amen. I love you. Thank you so much. Like, this is so kind of you. Thank you for having me on the show. And I just have to say, I'm so proud of you. First of all, you killed it. Media training, where? Like, you are great at this. And I hope that you continue. And I'm just praying for you that everything that your heart desires, God puts his hand on you to do every single thing that has been on your heart. You are an amazing, inspiring woman, an amazing mother. Milo's lucky to have you, and your friends are lucky to have you.
Thank you so much, Mame. I really love and appreciate you so much. Tell all of our viewers where they can find you on socials and everything.
You can find me at Mame Adjei.
Spell that.
MameAdjei. On Instagram, TikTok. I don't really use the bird app. Oh, it's X now.
Yeah.
And Threads. And I'm also launching my beauty line, Mame Beauty.
Okay. Look out for that.
Follow at Mame Beauty Co. On Instagram. We'll be launching very soon, and you'll be getting a lot.
I need a full PR package.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm so excited.
You sure will.
I'm so excited. I can't wait to add it into my routine.
Thank you.
Love you down, girl.
Love you.
Thank you so much for watching A Cozy Space with Tatiana Elizabeth. Bye.
Bye.